Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. We are back with another exclusive interview. This time I'm bringing Jason Smith onto the show again. It's been a long time since we spoke on this platform. I mean, he was one of my supporters from the beginning, right? When we were doing those on lockdown series, all of those type of things. So it's been very interesting to watch his career and how it's been going, the move, of course. So we're going to be talking about all of that, catching up and seeing how he's been doing. And of course, this is what the show is about. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I please would like you guys to do, and that's subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. It's very important that you do that so that you know when we go live with certain shows. I also like you guys to please download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And then if you want to help us grow and promote South African cricket and help us as a company grow, become a patron today. There's different tiers for you, very affordable. It's not expensive. It's like buying me a coffee or buying me a McDonald's meal ultimately. So just go and click on the link on the screen as well as in the description. Smash the like button, comment and share, and go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. So without further ado, guys, we're going to go straight into today's video. I'm looking forward to discussing and having this conversation with Jason today. Very good evening. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is another exclusive interview, and today I'm bringing Dolphins all-rounder Jason Smith onto the show. Jason, welcome to the show, bro. How are you doing? How's things going now that it's off-season? You have some time off.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Thanks for having me back eventually. Yeah, like you said, it's been off season, so yeah, enjoying my time off. Can't ask for much more really. But yeah, things are pretty good. Quite hot in Durban still, but
Hmm.
yeah, other than that, not too bad.
Yeah, completely the opposite to Cape Town. We're freezing over here. So,
No, I'd rather have it that way.
so what sort of things do you do in your off season? I mean, we've spoken to quite a few players. Some like to just chill. Some like to go out and play more cricket. I mean, what is the type of things that you like to do in your off season?
Yeah, so for me, I think well, I've had this last month of not touching a cricket bat or cricket ball. I don't plan on doing that anytime soon. So for me, it's mostly just a bit of golf. I've started playing a bit of paddle now. Um, but other than that, it's mostly chill time, and I'm obviously quite into my gaming. So yeah, I would say quite a lot of hours are being put onto my PlayStation. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, but definitely chill time, not doing anything too hectic.
Like I haven't played PS3 or PS4 in like a long time. PS4 actually or PS5 in a long time. So like, what's other games now that people are playing? Is it still the same old like Call of Duty and Fortnite, or is there new games on the scene now?
To be honest, actually, no. I've actually been playing Call of Duty, Fortnite, and FIFA, which I only
Okay,
started
cool.
playing when this last FIFA came out. But it's still the standard, same old.
Yeah,
But to be fair, I'm enjoying it because
yeah,
there was a time where I didn't play at all, so
yeah.
it's good to catch up.
I must maybe try and play the new. I have the Call of Duty. I might as well try if I have the opportunity. So and this paddle, I've heard about this paddle thing because I mean, I think Carl also messaged me today to say he has a. We were supposed to do an interview tomorrow, and he said he has a paddle game as well. So what is this about? I think I saw it at the Wanderers Cricket Club. I saw some of them playing it. It looks like a cross between like squash and tennis or something.
It's basically like miniature tennis, but
Okay.
it's so fun. After all, there's obviously a lot of running involved, but I think it's fun. I think anyone can play, and it's a good way just to spend an hour, hour and a half of just like
Hmm.
doing something that's going to keep you busy. And it's
Okay.
not
Cool.
difficult to play. I think anyone can play it, but I
Yeah.
think it's quite
Okay.
fun.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna try it out. I almost tried it at in Joburg, but then I thought, okay, cool. Let me try it. There are a couple of places here in Cape Town also, of course, to play it, right? That you know of.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's one in Camps Bay. There's one in like next to Cavendish.
Okay,
Okay, that's the only two that I know of in Cape Town.
okay, cool. Cavendish will probably be the one. Okay, Jason, let's get into your career a little bit. As you know, I mean, some of you guys on the channel also know that I do try to keep in touch with Jason, at least via text when I can. But I've always been keeping an eye on your career, as the fans will know on this channel. I want to know what your move was like. First and foremost, we never got to actually speak to the fans and tell the fans actually what your reason was behind your move and how that came about, of course.
Yeah, so yeah, for me the move was a bit complicated. Um, I don't want to get too much into it. Um, but for me, I think at the end of the day, it was just time for me to leave Cape Town. I think it was maybe a bit too easy for me being in Cape Town. I was still staying at home. I was still with my family, and yeah, I mean, I'm playing cricket and staying at home. Like it was just definitely too comfortable. And yeah, how it came about, I think he messaged me maybe I think 2 years before actually moving if I was actually interested in joining the Dolphins. And funny enough, there was a season, I think it was my last season there, where I fractured my ankle, and I
Mm,
think I was out for I think maybe it was 2 or 3 months.
yeah, I remember that.
Um, yeah, and then Emmy was messaging me during that time to see if I was fine. Um, which didn't actually feel weird. It was actually like nice knowing that, there's support coming from somewhere else. So I think actually making the decision to move to the Dolphins was actually a bit easier because it kind of felt a bit more, I'd say, welcoming. And well, for me now, it kind of feels like more at home just because of the way that Amy and Quinny are towards me. Um, but yeah, I think they made it quite easy for me to make the decision because yeah, obviously growing up in Cape Town, like I always saw myself just obviously playing under Newlands for like your whole
Mm.
career, and obviously yeah, things happen and it's not possible all the time. But I feel like Imi made that fairly easy for me to make that decision.
Mm. And can you give me some insight maybe into what it was like to settle into Durban, a new environment, of course, and also staying on your own now, of course, you're not with your family anymore. It comes with some challenges. Can you give me some insight into that?
Yeah, yeah. For me, I felt like it was fairly easy. Um, I think the toughest challenge was kind of adapting to the heat. I think if you don't have a fan or aircon, you might be struggling when you're at home, especially for someone that
Yeah.
spends a fair bit of time at home. Obviously, sitting on their couch, I think it's a must-have. Um, but I didn't find it too difficult at all because I feel like obviously when season comes, we're kind of traveling all the time, so you're barely spending any time at home anyway. So you at least you're busy all the time. So you're not
Mm.
worried about outside of things or things outside of cricket, sorry. Um, so for me personally, I felt it quite easy.
Yeah. Now, there's been a clear improvement with regards to your batting stats, 4-day cricket, 1-day cricket, etc. What do you think's been key to that? Is it just the move and the environment, or is it getting more game time, or is it being conversations with coaches, or that they've worked on specific things? What was it?
I think it's a bit of a mixture of all of that. Um, I feel like the environment at the Dolphins, you encouraged to be who you are, um, and I feel like that's kind of what I needed, to be encouraged to be who I am as a cricketer, as a person, and not try to be molded into something that I'm not. And it's always well since I've been here, I've always been encouraged to play the way that I see things, um, and I think that's helped me massively because if I know something that's worked for me, why would I want to change that?
Mm.
And yeah, obviously, I think myself and Imi obviously get along quite nicely. I think we quite similar as people, so I think he relates to me on a personal level as well. So he always knows how to approach me, when to tell me when to do certain things, and I think that's actually helped me quite a lot. I think it's just been comfortable in the space that I'm in
Mm.
and being able to have like a close relationship with the coach. I feel like that's done quite a lot for me.
Yeah. I mean, team environment, it's something that I speak about when I analyze any sport. I mean, we both Man United fans. We talk about the we talk about the team environment a lot in certain players that need an environment to succeed in. Do you feel that that's something that Imran has done well at the Dolphins in creating an environment where you guys all feel like you can succeed and be the best versions of yourself?
100%. I feel like the environment, we encourage everyone to be themselves, like I said earlier, and to ask questions, and I think to continue to grow as cricketers, but not only as cricketers, as people as well. Um, which I feel like has kind of made us a lot closer off the field than just being teammates at the end of the day. I feel like I have a relationship with everyone in the squad. So it doesn't just feel like it's admin when you have to greet someone when you come to training. I feel like there's actually some sort of connection there, and you can actually feel comfortable having a conversation with them. Um, and it's just, I feel like you don't you don't always get that where I think guys coming through are able to feel like they are able to speak to guys that are older than them, because I always feel like, no, what if they ask the wrong question, or if it's a stupid question or something like that. But I feel like it's something that's massively encouraged in our environment. And I feel like guys are chatting, if it's not cricket, it's maybe a very, like, it's just nonsense
Mm.
talk all the time, which I feel like it helps in the team environment. It's just, obviously when you need to focus, that focus needs to be there, but I feel like it helps with things when you don't need to like worry about things.
Yeah, I think something that really stood out to me, and this is something I'm making up on the spot right now after watching Rio's interview with Faric on his channel, Rio Ferdinand. So
Mm.
he mentioned something interesting between that Moyes era and Man United. I'm bringing United into it because it's still sports related. Where he said something interesting that stood out to me is that even though they were senior players in the side when Moyes came in there, Moyes was kind of like not sure about whether he should put his type of football on the players or still keep them doing what Fergie taught them to do. And he said, at the end of the day, players are still players, no matter how experienced you are. You still need to be told what to do. Now,
Yeah.
I think that's something that maybe I can ask you a little bit more about. Do you relate with something like that as a professional?
No, I definitely feel like that's definitely relatable. I feel like you don't play a team sport if you're not willing to do what's best for the team. Which I feel like that's also driven quite a lot in our environment, is always putting the team first, no matter what the situation is. I'd rather don't think about yourself, but think about what's best for the team. If you, I'm going to use a batsman as an example. If you go out trying to do something that's was trying to put the team's best foot forward, then that's understandable. You were not making a mistake or making the wrong choice, but you were trying to do the right thing. And I feel like, I suppose that's kind of the same thing. As long
Yeah,
as you're putting the team first, I feel like
yeah.
you definitely can't go wrong.
Yeah. So at Western Province, I mean, you bowled a lot more. Now, I spoke to Ethan about why he wasn't picked as much, maybe in the 4-day arena, and his answer was that obviously because of conditions, you're going to play more than one spinner, and then you're going to use your spinners a lot more than obviously use your seamers. Is it a similar reason why you didn't bowl as much for the Dolphins? Are you still focused on being a complete all rounder? Is that still your drive and your goal? Or are you focusing more on your batting and trying to get into teams because of your batting?
To be honest, I've actually kind of been focusing more on my bowling. Um, so obviously, I didn't get to bowl much throughout the season, but it's just I
Mm,
feel like the balance of our squad is just, we have so many all rounders and bowlers. Like, you can't expect to be bowling all the time, which is obviously something that I understood. Um, but I have obviously made it known that I would like to bowl more. But if the guys are doing the job, then it's understandable why
mm,
the fifth and sixth option is not getting to bowl. And
mm.
Yeah, and also I think conditions in Durban, I think that's obviously a massive cause of that because obviously we play two spinners majority of the time, so they're obviously going to bowl all the overs, and then when Asima does come on, it's going to be one of the quicks, either
Yeah.
Dupab or tough. So it's going to be tough for us. That's all, not as quick as them to actually get a chance to bowl.
What did it feel
But
like to win
obviously,
your
yeah,
first? Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Continue.
no, 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 no. No, I was actually don't know. I don't remember what I was going to say.
Sorry, man. I wanted to ask you what it felt like to actually win your first 4-day trophy. I mean, obviously being 4-day series champions
Yeah, no,
and
it
being a part
was
of that.
obviously a very good. No, it was unbelievable. I feel like it felt maybe a bit sweeter for me because I had a decent campaign for the 4-day series, and I feel like the games that we played at Kingsmead, they're obviously any game at Kingsmead it's tough just because of conditions, and I just feel like obviously we played I think just over half of our 4-day games in Kingsmead. So I just felt like all the hard work and the effort that we put in, I just feel like it was just really rewarding, and I don't think I'll be able to describe the way that we felt. But it was definitely something special and probably one of my better achievements of my career.
And what sort of things did you pick up about playing against spin? I mean, obviously that's the ground for spin.
No, I don't want to give away our secrets here because you see, Kingsmead's good for 4-day games that last 2 or 3 days, so I don't want to be giving too much away. Um, yeah, but it's obviously um, we do practice playing a lot of spin, but we don't really train in conditions until we get into the game. So I feel like it's something that's needed for our system to have that experience, at least at one ground where teams can come to Kingsmead and experience tough conditions because that's the only way we can grow as cricketers if you experience that in a match
Yeah.
situation. I mean, facing that in the nets is you're obviously going to be a lot more comfortable, but when the pressure's on in the middle, it's obviously a different feeling. And I feel like it's a good thing. And I think it's the only way you can grow as cricketers is to actually be in that situation.
I mean, yeah, I think that's also the reason why maybe our South African batters don't really, or we hear that a lot that our batters struggle against spin. Um, and it seems like you took to it quite easily. I mean, from you personally as a batter, did you feel quite comfortable? Do you think that you can take on spin and really put up your hand as a batter that can do so?
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought that I've been an okay, decent player of spin. I'm not definitely not the best, um, but I think I just stuck to my game plans that I had in place and trying not to go off that. Um, I feel like in at Kingsmead you just have to be very patient and you obviously have to bide your time and just bat as long as you can because it doesn't necessarily get easier, but I feel like you become a lot more comfortable with the conditions the longer you spend out there. And yeah, I feel like it's definitely conditions that you just need to play on to get used to.
Hmm. Okay, now that you are a little bit older now than you were obviously when you started cricket, I know about the rumors that were floating around when you just came out of school. I mean, obviously at Weinberg Boys, those threes that you won, of course, for hitting centuries. I mean, a lot of people were putting a lot of pressure on your head about the next best thing, the next big thing, the next colors, the next this, that, the other. Reflecting back right now, do you feel that maybe affected you in any way, or did you drown it out, or did you learn from that period at the beginning of your career that matured you to the cricketer you are today?
Yeah, so that's quite a tough question. Um, I mean, there was a time in my career where um, obviously I'd heard about things like that, and I was obviously a lot closer than what I thought. And I think at the time, um, at least what I thought it was between myself and another player that was going to be selected for the test squad. And I found that I put too much pressure on myself, and I ended up changing things and doing things that didn't really work for me. And yeah, I think that was probably like one of the worst seasons that I've actually had throughout my career. I think I was trying different things, going to look for advice, and then trying that, and then it just wasn't working. Like that, nothing would like click at all. So I feel like the pressure did definitely get to me at that point. But I think the season after, I slowly started to like realizing that you got to a certain place for a reason. So why try to change like all of that and become something that you're not? Um, which is something that I realized again moving back to Durban. Um, I mean, if something works for you again, why change it? And I just wish it was obviously something that um, I'd figured out earlier. I know it's quite simple. There's like nothing much to it, but for me, I feel like that was like a big factor for me was just trying too many things and being something that I wasn't.
Yeah, I think that's a general lesson that most people in any field should learn is that sometimes the answer is in the simplicity, and that's something that I've also struggled with doing this job as well. Sometimes I try to be things that I'm not, or try to do certain things that is not in my capacity, because you're looking around and you're seeing what everybody else is doing on in the sphere, and you kind of forget the simple things, and that's
Yeah,
important. So it's good that you actually
yeah,
said that,
100%.
because it just puts that emphasis on that. Saif wants to know who your favorite all-round cricketer is around the world, if you have to pick an all-rounder. um,
Past or current?
let's pick one of each.
Okay. So my role model growing up was JP Dumini. He counts as a surely he counts as an all rounder.
Hmm.
Um, but I would say at the moment it's probably I would go with Stokes. Um, but I would say Hardik Pandya is actually pretty close. Um, like the way that he plays. Just wish he could be more consistent with the bat because I enjoy watching him bat. And obviously with the ball, he's just a machine. But I'd say the two of them.
Yeah. If there's a particular piece of advice that you've gotten in the past from a coach, a player, or someone that you've met, maybe possibly a person that you looked up to, a celebrity, etc., can you maybe share that with us that stood out to you?
Hmm. Uh, this is a tough question now.
I have to ask those ones.
Oh, so like it's kind of exposing myself because I'm not the best listener. Um, no, but I would go with. I mean, what Imi told me when initially joining the Dolphins is just to he just actually encouraged me to be who I am. Um, I think at the end of the day, if you trying to be who you are, I think both on and off the field, you kind of find yourself a lot easier than what you would if you're trying to be something that you're not. I feel like you're able to grow more as a cricketer and a lot faster. Um, yeah,
That's brilliant. I can clip that. So, so, Jason, I want to ask you next. What is your next on your list? Because I mean, I was a bit upset when I saw the SAA list and you weren't on there. I thought that you would be, because I mean, I've had conversations about you to certain people within the sphere. Trying, obviously, you have conversation. They say, who do you think should be in there? Who should? And your name was one of them, in my opinion. Particularly because they're picking the 4-day and 1-day arena. Those are the two formats that you really did well this season.
yeah.
So, did they speak to you at all, or did you hear nothing from them? Is or has there been conversations about that next step, maybe emerging in SAA?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I can't really say anything because I mean, it's part of what we do, I suppose. I mean,
Mm,
selection's obviously something you can't really control. So
yeah,
I've tried to look at it as a positive. I mean, there's no point in kind of trying to be upset about
yeah,
it. I mean, it's part of what we do. So
yeah,
rather try and I think grow and look at the positive out of it.
yeah. So what's the next steps for you, or what is the next aims, your goals?
Yeah, I mean, my goals still haven't really changed. I feel like I still want to represent the country across formats. Um, and who's to say that's not to happen? Um, yeah, I think for me, I think that will be my next steps. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't think I'm willing to give that up yet. I think
Mm,
I'm still young enough to try and
yeah.
compete for a spot for numerous years. I feel like I've got a lot left in me, so
Mm.
I feel like that's something I still want to tick off.
Where do you see yourself as an all-rounder? Of course, where do you see yourself in that batting lineup or position-wise within a team across all formats? If it's different, then name each format and then say which position you'd like to probably play. Where do you see yourself?
So I think maybe across formats it would be in the middle order between 4 to 6. Um, Obviously, maybe I think maybe with the red ball, maybe closer to 6. Um, that's if I do bowl.
Mm,
um, but yeah, I really don't mind. I mean, I think I batted throughout my career. I've batted anywhere between 3 and I think 7, and I feel like I'm able to
mm,
do all the roles. So, but ideally, I'd say number 5 would be the ideal sweet spot. Just to
yeah.
be greedy, I'd say 5 across
Nah,
formats.
I don't think that's greedy at all. And when it comes to mentality, when it comes to the different positions, right? How much, particularly white ball cricket, because I see a lot of people seeing players perform in T20 cricket, and then they're like, "Oh no, but this guy must get picked in ODI cricket," and I don't
Yeah,
necessarily think there's I think the gap is bigger between ODI cricket and T20 cricket than it is in ODI and Test cricket. I think there's more similarities in Test cricket and ODI than it is in ODI and T20. I don't
yeah,
know if you, as a cricketer, agree
no,
with that,
100%. No, 100%.
and
So,
why is that? Yeah.
so just on that, which is why I think we've had chats at the Dolphins because we found that okay, we do well in 4-day cricket, but I feel like over the last 2 seasons we've kind of struggled with the 50 overs, which is weird because if you do well in 4-day cricket, it's the closest format to 50 overs. Um, Sorry, wait, what is the question?
Yeah, I just want to explain why that gap is closer to a 50 over and Test rather than 50 over and T20. Yeah.
Yes, I just feel like there's obviously a lot more time in the 50 over game. Um, I think things are obviously first 10 overs, it's obviously fast paced, and then it picks up again in the last 10, where obviously during the middle period, it may tend to slow down quite a touch. But I think, especially in conditions in South Africa, I think there's only 2 grounds where you're going to be batting quickly for the full 50 overs, where I think on our wickets, you kind of have to work quite hard, which is then again you get that from your 4-day stuff. I'm actually doing the hard yards and trying to get off strike and waiting for your bad balls. And I feel like those are the lessons that you learn during your 4-day
Mm.
cricket. And obviously the last 10 and first 10 is where your T20 game will come in.
Mhm. So obviously, when you play six in a T20, it's a different type of mentality, or even 5 and 6 in T20 compared to maybe your role in ODI cricket. Um, how do you now? That's difficult. How do you balance that and work towards becoming a player that can do a role in a T20 format, um, particularly coming to the crease immediately and then going?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was just about to say, I feel like a 5 or 6 in a T20, it's a bit simpler than in a 50 over, just because 5 or 6 you could be in the first 20 overs and you still have 30 overs left to bat.
Yeah.
Where I think coming in to go for it, I mean, it's what we train at training anyway, so it's nothing that's new to us. But I feel like when you're batting for a longer period of time, when you actually have to put the work in, I feel like that's when you have to be able to adapt. I feel like that's when you actually get tested as a cricketer in that role. Because yeah, especially if you're coming in early, it obviously means that the team's in a bit of trouble. So you obviously have to get your team out of that and then still try to put the runs on the board, which is always, I think, the challenge as I'd say from 4, 5, 6, even 7, because a lot of the time it's going to be an all rounder at 7.
Mhm. Jason, thanks a lot for giving me your time and coming on the show and chatting to me. I hope that we can do this again and more often this time. I'm going to try not to be as much as a stranger. But
No
let's do
worries.
it again. Yeah, let's do it again. Thank you for giving me your time. To the fans out there, you know what you got to do. You subscribe and download the magazine, of course, because this is a place where you guys can get a lot more insight into cricket. I'm trying to grow you guys from fans to fanatics. And if you really want to learn about this game, go to Cricket Fanatics, the digital magazine, the monthly magazine. You get an email to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Um, uh, I don't understand this question, but Saif wants to say if you captain ODI, you like. No, I don't understand the question. I don't know if you can make sense of it.
I think he's maybe asking how many batsmen you pick in the XI,
Okay. Okay, you got to answer that.
or I don't know, or what's he asking? What number I would bat?
Yeah.
So okay, I would say both. So I think I would want to bat number 5, and then um, I feel like you should go with a 6-5 split, but I feel like you could have two good all rounders, a batting all rounder and a bowling all rounder for the 6-5 split.
Brilliant. Yeah, you heard it from a cricketer. So, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to tune into other shows that we'll be having this week. Like I said, subscribe and smash the like button so that we can get the other recommended feeds. Jason, thanks a lot for coming on. Fans, thanks a lot for tuning in. And I'll see you guys all again tomorrow with another daily show. Peace out, everyone.
Thanks for having me, man.